Good to see you, Cornell.
Hey, how are you,
Hey,
Tom?
just about just that receiving room that you're going to be working with, just so many new faces. Can you even begin to sort of sort through that and let us know the talent you got there from the portal and maybe some guys who maybe caught your eye early on?
Um, well, right now, I mean, they're still all really new. Last week was the first time I actually saw them in person open up and run for the first time, and that was really pleasing to see. And so we think we've got some guys there that can help us, that can, push the secondary and get behind them a little bit. And so we feel pretty good about that. EJ Horton is a guy that he can run, he can fly, and Um, some of the other guys, I think are good players, but I really don't know yet. I mean, I don't really make much of a judgment on any of these guys until we put pads on and find out what they really can do.
Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, Sam came from the Journal and Courier. One of the things Barry said about the receiving room when he was going through the portal was he felt this team needed more length. How valuable is that? You talk about the speed and how well these guys can run when you're going to be going against taller DBs, probably in the Big Ten and things of that sort.
Yeah, we think that the size is always a factor, and we tried to recruit to that. We were looking at these guys. And so, like a young man like Nate Leacock is this guy's got some length. He can run. He's bigger, a little bit more physical. And then you match him up with a DJ Hamilton. Um, I think we've got some guys that can, help us in that factor. But everybody else has just got to be playmakers. That's more so than anything else. I thought that getting guys that could do something with the ball after they've made the catch was really critical to us. So
Nathan, go ahead.
Hey, Nathan Baird, Indianapolis Star. Last year at this time, there was another batch of transfer receivers that had come in and varying degrees of success from there. I'm just curious from your standpoint, what has been any kind of common ground between the guys who can transfer in and make an impact right away and guys who don't? Just in your past experience, what do you think is what sets apart the guys who show up and succeed right away?
I've always thought the guys that buy into your system, whatever their system is, the quicker they can do that and not coming in with these preconceived notions of, who they are and what they're expecting and all those kind of things, the quicker they can buy into what you're doing, I always think that's when you have the most success. And so far with this group, they've all been the right mindset. They've all have bought into our philosophy of, hard, smart, and tough. Now we're not there yet, but they're on page with that. We don't have any guys trying to do their own thing right now. So I think that's the first step.
Go back to Tom.
Yeah, Coach, just talk about your deep roots with Barry Odom. You guys go way back. You worked a long time together, and and why you think he's the right man for this job?
Well, um, it's the right philosophy, and um, I think he's grown as a head coach. I was with him his first job when he was at Missouri, um, and then getting his second opportunity to go to UNLV. I think he's grown a lot as a coach. I thought he did a great job when he was at Missouri. It's just unfortunate the way it ended, but he was doing a good job there. I was there for both coaches, uh, with Pinkel and with Barry, which me and Barry worked together there. And I'm telling you, between the two, at the point where Barry was let go, he was just as good as Gary Pinkel. Um, the record actually was better. It just kind of had a few more ups and downs in the flow of the system. But from a successful standpoint on the field, as good. And I think had been given the same opportunities that Coach Pinkel was given, would have had, I think, the same kind of success. So I think he's come a long way and made a lot of changes for the better. And I think our kids have benefited from that. And certainly that's kind of what happened when we went to UNLV, and I believe it'll be the same when we finish things here.
Dub, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, it kind of feels like that wide receiver room is filled with opportunity for guys, and with that comes the competition aspect. How much do you think that competition can help elevate the play of your guys' group?
It's going to be all about competition this spring. The good thing is when you're new, and we're all new, you walk into the room and nobody knows anybody, and so anything that you did before you got here or what you did last year really doesn't matter. And so from that perspective, we told them all jobs are open. There are no, there are no true starters in my mind right now. This thing will fluctuate up and down the depth chart, and the guys that compete on a daily basis, be the guys that at the end of the spring will get a chance to be moved up to the top, and then we'll do it all over again during summer ball and fall camp, and then we'll see where we are when September gets here.
Go back to Nathan.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on an answer you gave Tom. Do you have some specifics on the ways that Barry has grown as a head coach? Like, what are the ways that now that you're reunited with him, you're seeing the biggest difference than just several years ago?
Well, I think he more so now he has a philosophy that he's bought into, and he's more demanding. And not that he wasn't back then, but I think he has an understanding of what he wants and what he's looking for, and he's not bending to anything less than that. And I think that's what good coaches do. Even when things aren't going well, you don't change your system. And the guys, when I worked for Coach Pinkel and Barry did as well, we had our ups and downs. We had more ups than downs, but he never changed the system. And I think Barry has done that as well. He's sticking to his philosophy and making kids rise to our standards. And when you can do that and everybody in the program all being on the same page, and you can get the whole organization doing that, you'll have success. And generally, when you do it, you'll have success faster than most. And I think that's kind of what happened with us at UNLV, and I believe that'll happen here as well. So,
back to Tom.
What's it like to be back in your home state?
uh, well, it was interesting. I think it was probably the second week we were here, and we had a recruiting function, and it was in the evening, and it just kind of started to snow. And literally, guys, it just kind of all hit me at once. It's like, my gosh, I haven't seen snow in 5 years, I mean, literally. So that was different, but it was cool. It was cool. It's cool to be back here. It's cool to be back home. I know a few folks here in the state, and they welcomed me back, and I'm not far from where I was born, so that's pretty cool too. And we got a few folks to get some tickets for. I'll need to borrow a few, but it's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying it.
Back to Sam.
Yeah, going off of that a little bit, when you grew up an hour from Purdue, and given what, in the mid 80s, what Purdue was kind of known for is slinging the ball all over the place, was there always a desire maybe in the back of your mind that was a place you would like to go or end up at some point in your career, or even, maybe back as a player even?
Well, we've as a player, I don't know that I ever really quite thought of it at that particular time. But now as you get older and you get into the coaching profession, and I've been here a few times with different teams, and I've always had success here. Unfortunately for Purdue, but I've been here a few times, and every time I've been here, we've won. but I've always thought it was a really, really cool campus, a great environment, great fans. And so as a coach, it's like, man, that would be pretty neat, to be closer to home and have family and friends. And well, here I am. I mean, it's just kind of interesting how things kind of worked out, but it's cool. Yeah.
Back to Nathan.
Yeah, obviously you guys came in and immediately had to get a lot of players for this current class, but then as you were kind of talking about, quickly transferring that into 2026 and beyond. How is that process when you're making a transition to another program, especially one that's coming off of maybe a season like it is, but also just the unknowns of the new group that's coming in? Like, what are you trying to sell recruits in the process right now? What are you telling them about what this program is about and what they can do at Purdue?
I think the main thing that we're selling is opportunity, and believing in what we've built in the past and that success, and showing them how it's gone from one university to the next. And with that, if you buy in, again, buying back into the system, we give you the opportunity. That's a pretty good situation to be in. And I think all of these kids, these kids are in the portal for whatever reason, wherever they were, it didn't quite work out. So now you're getting another opportunity. And that's really what they want. If you can show them that the success that you've had in the past, how driven and focused and the more you want to make this thing work, kids will buy into that. And most kids, that's all they want. Just give me a shot, give me a fair shot, and let me do what we do. And if you can do that with discipline and the kind of standards that you need to be successful, most kids will buy into that.